Hi, everybody, and welcome to this late edition of Black Spring with Autumn. And I realize it's been a few days since I've been on. However, I'm still around. But I just had, of course, a few nuggets for you, and so I'll just kind of give you a bit of the rundown on what I have, and then, of course, I'll do my usual order of business, and I'll say thank you to our loyal patrons, our subscribers, and our viewers like you. We have looks like a senator, a black senator who is being rejected by the CBC. I'll get into that, and also we have a bit of a something that's kind of a buzz right now. I'm not sure if you're onto it or if you've heard about it, but these are the giants. Looks like the giants are coming, and we have looks like another story that's coming out. And I've marked it. I've kind of marked it on your mark, get set, prom. But I'll tell you more about that when we come right back after we do a little bit of a Twitch on a roll. This show is brought to you in part by our sponsors. Whether you're interested in health, culture, politics, scripture, automobiles, or music, please check out Derek C. Williams, Killer Whale Channels, The Definition of Anarchy, Marcy T., Joseph Francis Burton, Paralysis by Analysis, Chrysler Imperial H, Little Miss Goth, AZ Infidel, Cold War Jesus, Anthony Scioli, and Let the Truth Be Told. We'll be right back right after this. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming back on this late segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And hello to Anarchy Television as well as Risen Ability. How are you? Thank you so much for coming in. So let's just do another little bit of a recap on what I have for you. I have, of course, an NYP, that's a New York Post liner on a black senator who's apparently being, looks like they don't quite want his membership. They're not quite, you know, embracing him. So we'll get to that. And we also have the Giants, and we'll get into that. I think I might even have an audio or some imagery for you. You know, it should be kind of enchanting. And yeah, we'll see what that's all about. And then we also have a story on a bit of a mark being granted by, I suppose, those trusty old chaperones at the prom for the mocktailed and the unmocktailed. So there we go. You know, just making sure we divide you on as many sides as you know as they can. So I guess what we could do is we can get started with we'll do a little bit of political theater because I'm just wondering, you know, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Immortals, the story about this black senator who's basically, I guess he's wanting to embrace the congressional. You know, I think that's a sensitive word around here. So the CBC, the caucus, if you know what I mean, is the Congressional Black Caucus. So I'll be using the CBC going forward. So if you pick that up throughout the stream, then that's exactly what I'm referring to when I say the CBC. He's just protected elite, right? So I got to do that. But yes, so we're going to go ahead and start out with that particular story that comes out of the New York Post. And if you'll hold on, we're going to have a centerpiece. I think we'll add the giants that are going to that are coming to hopefully coming to 21 cities. I think there's a lot of stage. The stage is being set for quite a few things when I think about just just what we've seen in the last several months out of, dare I say, out of AI, out of technology, the whole bit. So we'll go into that. So let's get started. Let's get started with our first story. And thank you guys so much for tuning in on this segment of useless information, just more useless information.
This is the end.
All right. Thank you. I want to say hello once again to Anarchy Television as well as Risen Ability. Thank you guys so much for coming in on the 11th hour here. And Risen Ability, thank you so much. Says doing great. Thank you. I'm hanging around, counting down where available. So, yeah. So, yes, let's go ahead and start with that first story. And then, of course, we'll get you to that, to the palate cleanser of our Giants story. So I'm gonna share the screen with you here. I will we'll get to the meat of it, and then maybe we'll get into some of my, I guess, my assertion, I guess, at the end. And what I consider this political theater without a doubt. Um, yes, like it's the freshman meets, what can I say? All right, this is coming out of the New York Post, and hope you guys can see that. I will be giving you guys some full scale so that you could see that. And of course, I do that because you guys would have it no other way. So I'm going to give you the full scale now. Looks like it's a whippersnapper. Looks like he's got his own story, backstory, urban backstory. So according to this, GOP rep Byron Donalds says Congressional Black Caucus keeping him out. Now, this is according to this is pen, or the penwomanship of Emily Jacobs, and this is a freshman Florida Republican representative. Byron Donalds said he hasn't been invited to the CBC. A black GOP lawmaker in the House of Representatives says the CBC has declined his efforts to become a member. In a statement to the Post on Thursday, Rep. Byron Donalds, Republican of Florida, expressed his disappointment about being excluded from the CBC, which inducted other freshman lawmakers into the group 6 months ago. Quote, the Congressional Black Caucus has a stated commitment to ensuring Black Americans have the opportunity to achieve the American dream, end quote. The 42-year-old lawmaker who represents the Naples area began, quote, as a newly elected Black member of Congress, my political party should not exempt me from a seat at the table dedicated to achieving this goal. As a young Black man who grew up in the inner city of Brooklyn in a single parent household, my achieving of the American dream would be a valued addition to the CBC and one that should transcend politics, end quote. A CBC spokesperson declined to answer the Post when asked about the claim that Donalds was rebuffed by the caucus, instead saying in a statement that the group, quote, remains committed to fighting for issues that support the Black community, including the police accountability bill, protecting voting rights, and a jobs bill that helps our communities, end quote. News of the CBC's snub of Donalds was first reported Wednesday by BuzzFeed News, which cited a, quote, source familiar with the CBC's plans, end quote. The outlet reported that the congressman's support for former President Donald Trump, as well as his decision to challenge the 2020 presidential election results, played a role in the group's decision to exclude him. In a CNN interview Thursday morning, Donalds called it, quote, off-putting, end quote, that the news of his rejection came from the media as opposed to hearing from the CBC directly. Quote, if my position and my support of President Trump is a problem for them, let them state that on the record, end quote, he argued to the network. Quote, I have a perspective being a 42-year-old Black man whose come up in America after a lot of battles, a lot of the battles through the civil rights movement that I think would actually be helpful and a helpful perspective to the CBC. Whether they want to take advantage of that is really up to them, end quote. While there have been Black GOP lawmakers in the caucus before, the group currently has no Republicans. Donald's spokesman, Harrison Fields, said Thursday that while the congressman has reached out to the CBC members about joining multiple times, quote, all we've gotten is the cold shoulder, end quote. Okay, so here you have pictured is Burgess Owens, and according to this, this says that Byron Donalds' fellow freshman GOP rep Burgess Owens has not tried to join the caucus. Quote, since starting in Congress, our office and the congressman have engaged with several CBC members expressing his interest in joining, but all we've got is the cold shoulder. The sad reality is, although the congressman and those in the CBC share the same race, the R behind his name disqualifies him from membership today, quote, Fields added. Prior to even winning his seat in October of last year, Donalds told the Wall Street Journal he planned to join the CBC as he hoped to work on criminal justice reform matters. Rep. Burgess Owens, a Republican of Utah, the only other Black GOP lawmaker in the House and a fellow freshman, opted not to try to join the caucus. In February of this year, 1 month after being sworn in, Donald made a public plea to be accepted into the group, telling Politico he wanted to help move the caucus away from its liberal leanings. Quote, obviously, the dominant voice in the CBC tends to be a Democrat or liberal voices, and I want to bring change to that, end quote, he told the outlet. Quote, yes, I am a conservative Republican, but I think the Black community, we have a wide range of political thought. It doesn't always get talked about, but it exists, end quote. Republican Kelly, Democrat of Illinois, a CBC member, told the Journal at the time that while she didn't understand minorities supporting Trump, any Black member would be welcomed, calling previous GOP members, quote, bridge builders, end quote. Okay, so just, this is let me get to the meat of what I want to say about that. It just seems like, you're going through a lot of you're doing a lot of work you're creating a lot of noise. You're making a lot of noise just to be associated with that organization. And for one, I find that the word Black has a controlling connotation that comes with it. And I find that, and this is I'm not accusing him of being a fraud, but I'm also saying, well, maybe if it was that important to you, if acceptance and being well received is what you really want, if you really want to be received by that group of people, then you probably should have run under a Democrat ticket, because the Blackness is what they tout all the time. They're always fighting for Black people and for Black boys and Black poverty and all the disparities of the Black community, and always the plight of the Black man. So I just figure you're pretty steeped in, you're looking for some acceptance right now, and I don't know why is that so important. You're not going to break into their little clubhouse, their little elite, because to me they pretty much are the handlers, and they pretty much pass down things, and they have quite a bit of control. And I don't think, not only does this guy not have this representative, he doesn't have the same values. And of course they don't want to appear unified with anyone. They don't want to be unified in diversity. They want the opposite of that. They just want to control things, and it's not about improvement. It's not about raising the lot or really making a difference. It's about I think who they're beholden to, and I think they're all controlled. So I don't think Mr. Donalds is going to be likely to break in to that group. I mean, their heels were already dug in, and the Republicans, to me, seem to do a lot of a branch or olive branch extension, and they get what? What do they get for it? I mean, at least to me, that's the political theater of it. You spend all your time extending branches when they basically just dig their heels and they stick together. That's one thing that they do. They appear to have a more unified, their will to push their agendas and their ideologies through. They will be united on that. And I don't see that on the right. So I think he would be better. His time would probably be better spent something doing something else as a freshman rather than trying to break into for the lack of a better word, I'm saying break into the Sunday best. Yeah, I that group. So yeah, so you have that, and of course that particular group, they do all kinds of studies and commissions and to address social problems of black men and black boys. And that group, the CBC, is absolutely, it's more than ineffective. I think they're useless. And I think, but they're not useless. They're useful to who they're controlled by, but they are not useful in the sense of actually leading or actually doing anything that matters. They're more destructive, and to me they promote the decadence and the destruction. So I don't know. I have a little bit of a weird eye right now for this guy, because I just don't understand the you know you getting pinned or tagged by them. Embrace me. And I think I kind of started off saying, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Immortals, where basically, what is it, King Hyperion, which is basically he's the darkness, and then you have, of course, you have a light, or a savior. And I'm not saying this in any type of religious or context, but this is the storyline of Immortals, where Theseus, he's basically, he was a peasant from peasant beginnings, but he's also the chosen one. So I don't think that we're dealing with quite a Hollywood, or Norse or mythology here, um, or dare I say, yeah, we're not dealing with something like that. So I don't know. I think this guy better get a grip, or he's not going to. And maybe he's just doing it for the publicity. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's one way to kind of get your name out there. Who knows? But I think I think he has talent for what he's doing. I mean, I've seen him do a couple of interviews. Um, yeah, honestly, when it comes to Mark Lamont Hill, I think anybody can debate Mark Lamont Hill, because his traps and his responses are very predictable. And yeah, so I mean, yeah, okay, so that's it. There's your political theater there. And so I'm going to move on to something that I stumbled onto. And before I do that, I'm going to read a couple comments, and then I'll take us to a brief thanks to our sponsors. And so, what do we have here from Reasonability? Thank you so much for tuning in and coming in, and also to Anarchy Television. Thank you guys so much. And Reasonability says, but what were the other affiliations and ideals? Now, when you say the other affiliations and ideals, are you referring to Mr. Donald's ideas? Let's see. I'm trying to get in. I'm trying to think of some specific things that he said that he wanted to do. I mean, of course, you're a new whippersnapper on Capitol Hill. You go in with your own agenda, and then you get and then you kind of get shot down with your case, your briefcase in your hands, and realize nobody wants to hear anything you have to say, and you kind of just, there you go. It's I would imagine you do have to make you do make alliances, or you kind of get crushed, or it's just I don't know. I can't even imagine. I can't imagine it. So I'm just gonna keep reading that. Okay, so Reasonability says, I thought equity and inclusion was their main goal. Doesn't that include differences in opinion and a perspective? That precisely, that's what I'm saying. It's like that group is anything, but they're always the opposite of what they say. Just like the bills that they write, when they write an equality bill or an equity bill, it's usually the opposite of whatever they say it is. It's anything, somebody loses their rights every time they write a bill. That's an inclusive bill usually means excluding somebody else, or somebody else's rights end up getting trampled because they got to create something so sinister for somebody else that it obliterates. They start eating each other, or start eating the people that they are eating their own work. I'm going to keep reading here. So that's what I'm saying. It's the hypocrisy there. I'm not surprised. I don't see that the CBC does. I don't see anything that they've done. They, as I said, they promote decadence. They promote instability. They promote destruction. Yeah, that's what I've seen from them. There's they just appear to be, with all of that pride, they're some of the most angry and most miserable people that you ever want to see. And they all have probably some letters or something behind their names or in front of their names or something. It's very sick. Okay, so Reasonability says maybe he just wants to expose them for being bigots. maybe. But I can imagine if he said anything about he wanted to enter that group and he didn't get a bid for it. It's kind of like, to me, like a club within a club, a society within a society, and he can't break into it. So, but see, to me, that's also, for the lack of a better word, to me, it also sounds like a beginning of a rhino at the same time. You're already, to me, you're not making a real clear case as to, okay, so if you've triumphed and everything that you're saying is more American in your triumphs and in your success. If you say that if you were able to overcome some things in some poverty, or lack of guidance, if you were able to overcome those things, then you had success. They don't want a success story. They can't have a success story being a part of their group. They can't have having people believe that that they can actually make it out of a tough situation, or that they don't have to be a product of their environment. They can't have that. So it's just, I can see why they won't, but we'll see how that goes. We'll see. I think people, yeah, sometimes if you want something a little too bad, sometimes that gets to be a little bit concerning there. Okay. And Reasonability says maybe he's wanting of being embraced is just a game and not really what he wants. Just wants to show more people that even if you're Black, they don't want your opinion. Well, I think he's doing a great job of that. It's, and I'm sure it's, they don't like the press that they're getting. And Reasonability says Marc Lamont Hill needs to get a psych eval. That guy is not, I can't believe he's a professor of higher learning. That's what I was starting to think. Because I've seen him, debate many people. I've seen him, like, recently, he's just kind of knocking it out every, I don't watch that show. I'm not even sure the name of it. I think it's Black News something, but he's doing something regularly all the time. And his guests, they really, I think his style is so predictable that he comes straight ahead. There is no challenge. There is no challenge because he sets the same trap or similar traps, and people just sidestep and say, hey, look, I'm not falling for your little straw man argument. And I end up taking the bait. I'm not doing it. So, yeah. And I imagine he might want to pick that up, because if he continues in that way, then in a normal situation, I guess that's why he didn't quite get his own show, like on prime time kind of a show, because nobody's going to want to watch this guy debate anybody, because he's going to get grilled up and really quickly. And Reasonability says Mark Lamont. Okay, I got that one. All right. So yeah, I mean, and I just, what is it? Is it Tempe? He was a professor, or I think he was on with Vernon Jones maybe about a week ago, and the thing about it is he defends his scholarship. See, the thing about it is that unfortunately, some people that happen to be these college professors, they will they always seem to, their response is very much, to me, it's like a paper, like you're trying to write an essay, but people just really want you to answer the question, and just answer the question. I mean, he's asking Vernon Jones what the CRT was, but then when he gives it, well, he starts, well, I have a PhD, I have a PhD from this Ivy League university, and I like to think of the words in terms of starts quoting somebody else. He starts he starts out tiny bit philosophical, and then he starts quoting somebody else, and it just, so that's your definition of CRT. To me, you haven't proven that to me, you haven't proven that you know what it is. And if it's that open ended, and if it's that loosey goosey, why would anybody try to, you would not be presenting it. You would not be presenting something so subjective to children. You would not. Your idea would be you would be very objective with what you would be doing with something like that in a K through 12 classroom, because those kids aren't going to pick up a whole bunch of malarkey. You're going to be teaching hate, and you're going to be teaching kids to you're going to be, degrading people and demeaning people who are white or appear to be white, and making them feel bad about themselves all day, and giving the other kids that they should be, looked at with like a bug all day long, because of your brainwashing. So, I mean, I'm saying, I don't even need to know. How much do you need to really know about it if they can't explain? I mean, even if they did explain it, it would be it's such a word convoluted salad that you still won't get anything out of it. Yeah, he's real. He's real. He's a little twisted to me. I mean, but yeah, like, I mean, he's the kind of professor. Like, I don't want to be your kind of professor when I grow up. I don't. I don't want to be that. So yeah, I've heard his kind of postmodernist, philosophies, and I've seen him trying to give his books away as well. So it's just, you wonder why these kids come out like, like zombies, after listening to that kind of thing all day long. And that's what they want to do on a lower level. They want to turn the young kids into the same kinds of, little specimens, little Barbie dolls that they act out on all day long. So it's, that's what they do. So I'm going to move us on here, because I'm honestly, the CBC, I'm just not exactly impressed. Never really been impressed with them. And I think their purpose is the antithesis of a purpose. It's actually more, to stifle and to stunt growth, and and there's somebody else was saying it. They talk about, they're always encouraging decadence and destruction, but they never tell you how they became successful. They never tell you how their families have survived and triumphed over, adversity, or they never tell you how they got to where they are. So you're just a walking contradiction. It's worse than that. It's profitable to be what they are, to be in their position, but it's not profitable for the people that they say they represent. So I'm going to move us on to something, a bit of what I call the palate cleanser. Not sure if you guys are familiar with this. It's kind of a company. It's not kind of a company. It is a company. And they're rolling something out. On this channel, we have talked a little bit about the AI and Sophia, the robot being rolled out from Hanson Electronics of Hong Kong, I believe. But to me, this is even more like, what are we being groomed here for? And I'm gonna let you guys be the judge. I'm gonna stop talking about it right now because I don't want to spill the whole beans. Oops. So we're going to exit that screen, and then I'm going to go ahead and take you. I have some imagery for you and some music and everything. It's all courtesy of this company. It's not courtesy of me. I'm not providing that, but I'm going to go ahead and share that screen with you. So do I have another comment? Ladies and gentlemen, do I have at least one more comment? Reasonability says, yeah, he has a show now, but he seems to get roasted every episode because they know his talking points. Exactly. And reasonability also says, he says men can give birth. That right there is grounds enough to have an evaluation. But yes, CRT is teaching children racism and division. Yes. So, of course, brought to you by the party that says that they are all inclusive. Okay, the most exclusive things are always brought to you in part by the most exclusive party. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. Got some kind of little crop duster over my head, but all right, so I'm going to go ahead and share the screen with you guys. So we're going to have a look at the Giants, and the Giant Company is bringing you this. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Hello, Joshua Goff said, Fed cryptocurrency is their goal. Follow the money. Thanks so much for tuning in. So I'm going to give you guys some full screen on this one because I'm sure you will be really curious about this one.
Of your city.
Uh-oh. Okay, I want to get this back to the right. I'm going to recycle it here. Just give me a second here. Alrighty. All right, so this is what you can see. I think you guys have some full screen. No, you don't. I will give it to you right now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. So I said, all the world's a stage. Is it really? Will this prove to be true? What are we being prepped for? What's the stage being set for here? So, of course, I'd love to hear you guys' comments. So, yeah, so we've got, I guess let me give you just a tiny bit of context here. This is the company, and, the company that we're looking into here. They are rolling out what they're calling 21 giants, and they're going to be featured in 21 cities. Now, you guys can draw on your own. I won't say anything else about it, and we'll talk about it right after this.
If at first the idea is not absurd, then there's no hope for it. Albert Einstein. People of the world, welcome to the Giant. The visitor attraction for the 21st century. The exhibition space featuring the Giant Experience, a glorious celebration of the great men and women of your country, inventors, artists, scientists, celebrities, and athletes. The viewing tower. See the city from the shoulders of a giant. The roof garden. New dimensions in retail, gastronomy, and special events for diversity of occasions. The world's tallest moving sculpture. Its head moves. Its arms move. It speaks and sings. A place to behold heroes and superheroes. A space to celebrate the great and the good, the game changers, the icons of your city and country. Every hour, the giant transforms into an extraordinary person, from sports, science, characters, your favorite heroes, and recites poetry and words of wisdom to the crowds below. A space to celebrate the great and the good. The great men and women who have made this world a better place to live in. A digital canvas for artistic creation. A creative canvas like no other. A digital art gallery in the sky that displays masterpieces from today and throughout the ages. The giant brings artists together from throughout the world. A beacon for brand celebration. A new eye-catching platform for businesses to reach customers in a novel and memorable way. A giant opportunity. A business model that delivers world-class experiences and world-class profits. An economic stimulator that enhances tourism, job creation, footfall, and commercial activity in the city. Join the Giants movement. The world's largest selfie. An homage to human potential. The world's most awe-inspiring selfie. Visitors are scanned and instantly become a giant. An experience to share and remember for a lifetime. There's nothing like it on the planet. Imagine you can be the giant. The giant transforms into a stage and a backdrop for festivals, concerts, performances, and special events. Let the party begin! If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. The Giant. Coming to 21 cities in 2021. Awaken the giant in you.
All right, my friends, I have to hello, Information Man Show. Thank you so much for coming in. But yes, I just had to share that because, I don't know, I'm not here to promote any form or any tenet of religion or any or any such anything close. But I find this whole thing to be a little bit it just seems a little bit creepy to me. It just seems like a lot of deception. There's room for deception there. There's room for interpretation there. Um, I think that there's a bit of, I think, idolatry and worshiping of people or of man is something that happens regularly. And I think that's been, I think, Hollywood's purpose for a long time. And I don't know. Hello, Joshua Goff. Yes. I think that's been Hollywood's that's been their post for a while. But I think because this, I think they kind of, you notice that Hollywood to me is not as, they're not as vibrant, for the lack of a better word, as they were. They're not as celebrated, and I think people have kind of tuned out when it comes to their, their lifestyles and their ilks, and the ilks or ills. um so I think we're going into something, another era here. I think they're ushering in something new, and I feel like I've been saying that for a long time, because I talk about it being, Groundhog's Day around here, and I don't think this situation is any different. um so yeah, I do think that this is a little bit, it's more than strange. It's a lot, because for one, do you see how many they talk about heroes and greatness and from the shoulders? It's almost like, they're asking you to become one, come experience this, come marvel this. And you know basically you get into, did you see that selfie machine? It's like, for a split second, you can be, it was like damn near beaming yourself. Now you're reflecting yourself as a giant. You become, I don't know, what is it? And here again, I don't know any kind of form of magic or dark magic, but what is it that they say? If you stare into the abyss, eventually what? That the abyss is what? Is it reflected in you? To me, this is what that is to me. If you can go stand yourself in a chamber and they go, oh, are you going to get in the selfie machine? You're going to go, and you've been staring at this abyss, this huge $1 million statue, but then you're going to go get in a chamber that's going to you're going to become one. You're going to you're going to be a part of that. Somehow you're going to be a part of this statue before you leave. Isn't that in itself kind of a ritual, or kind of a close? You start out this, you started doing this, and then you finish with this. It's kind of like it's like, dare I say, it's like a ceremony or a service almost. I mean, yeah, but did you see? Maybe I will rewind that little part back to where you get into the little chamber there, and you can see that just like the statue's body changes, your body's being illuminated like that too, kind of like an X-ray machine. And yeah, let's see. I'm going to try to see where that is. It's towards the very end. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I don't know. I'm sorry. I thought this was a little bit relevant and interesting. So hold on really quickly here. You notice the music here. It's very
If at first the idea is not absurd, then there's no hope for it. Albert Einstein. People of the world,
I'll get you the selfie machine in just 1 second.
The Giant.
Don't worry.
The visitor attraction for the 21st century. The exhibition space featuring the Giant Experience, a glorious celebration of the great men and women of your
Okay, so I think this is,
country.
I think they've kind of controlled
Inventors,
this.
artists, scientists, celebrities, and athletes. The viewing tower. See the city from the shoulders of a giant. The roof garden. New dimensions in retail, gastronomy, and special events for diversity of occasions. The world's tallest moving sculpture. Its head moves. Its arms move. It speaks and sings.
Okay, so I don't know, for those of you that are out there, I mean, what else do you think? I mean, because it's doing all of the things, it's embodying all the things that human beings can do. It's imitating all the things that human beings can do. It's imitating all the things that human beings, that's, your whole creative all your creative outlets or all of your creativity is embodied in this mass, it's just the tallest thing in the world. I mean, I don't know. It's just I couldn't quite fast forward it, but I will be happy to put that link in the stream for you guys. But I don't know. I think I might have a little list. I can give you a preview of what I'm seeing as the list of the cities. Yeah, I can give you a little list of the cities that I think this is going to be coming to. So don't know if you guys are going to be if it's going to come to a city near you. So I'll give you a little bit that backstory. And here, I'll zoom you out there. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for coming in. And let me read a couple comments here before I read off those cities. Risen Ability says, "Come get hypnotized." There you go. And whoa, Joshua Goff says, "Stairs back." Risen Ability says, "Neuralink." And Joshua Goff says, "This all started at the first council of Nicaea. Okay, what I'm going to do is, let me just give you a little skinny on which cities this is going to come to. So actually what I'll do, I'll go ahead and share that with you really quickly here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this 11th hour stream. I know it's been a while, and I'm going to go ahead and share the screen here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if you haven't had a chance to hit that like button, you will have a chance to do so before the close of the stream. And okay, so what we have here is, I'll just give you, I don't want to go too deep into the article. I'm just going to give you the cities that I think they're projecting for, the cities that are going to be, that you might have one of these in. You notice that you're going to have a garden, a gastronomy, and I tell you, I can imagine people just eating that situation up. I really can. And that might not sound good, but no pun intended there. But according to this comes from the BroadwayWorld.com, that get a first look at the Giant statue coming to 21 cities across the globe. The 10-story public art display will showcase the Giants in communities across the globe using technology to celebrate humanity. Is that how we celebrate humanity? The most exciting visitor attraction concept of the 21st century has been launched, entitled The Giant. It features the world's tallest moving statue, 35 meters, 112 feet tall. The Giant was conceived by the Giant Company based in Dublin, Ireland. The idea was initially inspired by Jonathan Swift's Gulliver's Travels. Okay, so I kind of want to jump down here. I'll probably put this link in there for you guys. But the cities that are mentioned here, let's see. Get some, I think they kind of let the cat out of the bag. They said 21 major cities across the globe. So I imagine that I think there's going to be, of course, international cities that are going to host, they're going to host quite a few of these. But yeah, I'm not seeing, I thought I saw those, but I will put those, I will put the link in the stream if you guys want to dig around on this. I'm sure you can do it at your leisure. But I find this to be just, I don't know. It's kind of like, you guys, I don't know if you remember what happened on New Year's Eve, that they had there was an interesting, looks like some type of a helix that was on display, I think in Seattle. I think it was near the Space Needle, or either it was, maybe it's somewhere near the Space Needle. That thing was a little bizarre. So there's just a continuation of, I don't know. It's like they're doing away with everything from the past. And yeah, this is definitely on the way. This is, to me, idolatry, and yeah, AI, and it's a celebration of that. Or yeah, but I wish I could get that little machine to show itself again, to the selfie machine. Wish I could get the selfie machine to reveal itself. Hi, DJ Vision Barnett. How are you? It's been a lifetime. Nice to see you. And Reasonability says Seattle is 45 minutes north of me. Very cool. Thank you so much. And DJ Vision Barnett says, what is now a long time, man. And Reasonability says 7 plus 7 plus 7 equals 21. Wow. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and jump over to our final installment. And this one is, of course, I'm sure this one this story might remind you of something as well. Something historical, not ahistorical, but it's happening here now. So we're going to jump over to that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. I really appreciate it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take you to the final story on today's segment. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. So this next story we're going to have, I've kind of entitled it, I thought to myself, on your mark, get set, prom, which that's not the title of, the article, but I'm going to go ahead and share it with you anyway. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. So I'm going to share the screen with you, not the stream, but the screen. And so this is what's happening. This is a liner from 100%fedup.com. So I don't know if you had any prom goers or, prom, if you chaperoned yourself or if you remember the days of prom, but I gave you some full scale on this one. And according to this, teachers mark the unmocktailed students at the high school prom. Wasn't this tactic used by Nazis? In an accidental show of solidarity with certain Central European regimes from the 1930s, teachers at a high school in New Hampshire, supposedly the epicenter of the Free State Project, marked unmocktailed students on their hands with a black Sharpie at their prom. Okay, so it looks like here maybe this is a example of that. Maybe it is. Yeah, nice cuffs and everything. Unsurprisingly, this has outraged many parents, and the school has since come under fire for its fascist gesture. So here you are. So they're giving you the historical context here. In 1941, Nazis branded Jewish prisoners with tattoos to help identify and separate them from Jews that were sent to gas chambers and those who were sent to labor camps. The identifying tattoos were also used as a way to, quote, dehumanize, end quote, the Jewish prisoners. Sound familiar? According to Melissa Litchfield, one of the Republican state representatives of the Live Free or Die state, students who were not mocktail were marked with a black Sharpie on their hands, while mocktail students were marked with a red Sharpie. Teachers determined which Sharpie students would be marked with based on the student's ability to present freedom papers or mocktail papers. I'm calling them freedom papers. Litchfield went on to say, quote, "What does that mean to you? I'm just going to let that sit there in hopes that those who came across her words knew their history." To make matters worse, according to Representative Litchfield, parents were not given prior notice of this blatantly authoritarian system. In fact, one concerned parent said that, quote, "We truly feel they are literally branding our kids if they don't get the, quote, approved mocktail," end quote. Fortunately for New Hampshire, voter ID laws exist to prevent this hypocrisy from being even greater than it is. Word is still out on how those teachers' stances on such laws, though. Okay. We have no tolerance for, sorry, so I'm at the end of that one. So yeah, it was a brief one, pretty brief story on that, but I cannot see this quite coming to an end. I think that, this whole situation seems to be on fumes and to a great extent, but I don't think it's going to go away that easily. And I think the resistance, has come a little bit late, or maybe it wouldn't have gotten as far as it has. Um, I do have some comments here. And Reasonability says my daughter's mom just had this happen, but at a bridal shower, she was the only one unmocktailed, and they required her to wear. Oh wow, yeah, yeah, wonky times. And okay, oui, yeah, je saurais. Let's see. Hold on just a second here. I will do it. Hang on just 1 second. I'll put it right here for you. Okay. Yeah, I would imagine that these stories are going to be coming up all summer. Okay, so there you go. So there's that one. But I think there's some other studies that have come out, and maybe there will even be some victories. Who knows? There will be. Yes, you're welcome. Okay, so yes, so there you had your latest on the mocktail there, but like I said, they're just, I think in some ways they're just getting started on this next group. So unfortunately, it's I think it's still going to be around. All right. So once again, I want to thank everybody so much for tuning into this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And I'm going to do just a short little break, and I'll be right back to say salutes to everyone in the stream. And I don't know, maybe I'll open up for just a few minutes. We haven't done that in a while. I haven't been on in a while. And so I will be right back, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much. It's awesome, Alice. So before I do that, I'm just absolutely just, and for those of you, I'm going to go back. The Giants to me was a bit of the centerpiece of the night. So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to play the last part. I'm going to play that one more time, and then I'm going to open this up just based on if you guys want to chime in on that. Okay, because we've talked about Byron Donalds, who is trying to get into, the CBC, and we've talked about the kids being marked at the prom. So what we're going to do Sorry. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the Giants one more time, and then I'm going to replay it, and then I'll open it up. Okay, so if you guys have anything to contribute on the Giants piece, then yeah, we'll do that. So let's go back to the Giants, shall we? Hope you guys are doing well out there. This is coming from the Giants Company. The Giants Company is going to be featuring 21 Giants in 21 cities. You guys do your own math and your own symbolism on this one, and I will open it up if you would like to chime in after we play it this time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm going to recycle here, and I'll give you the full screen here.
If at first the idea is not absurd, then there's no hope for it. Albert Einstein. People of the world, welcome to The Giant. The visitor attraction for the 21st century. The exhibition space featuring the Giant Experience, a glorious celebration of the great men and women of your country, inventors, artists, scientists, celebrities, and athletes. The viewing tower. See the city from the shoulders of a giant. The roof garden. New dimensions in retail, gastronomy, and special events for diversity of occasions. The world's tallest moving sculpture. Its head moves. Its arms move. It speaks and sings. A place to behold heroes and superheroes. A space to celebrate the great and the good. The game changers, the icons of your city and country. Every hour, the Giant transforms into an extraordinary person, from sports, science, characters, your favorite heroes, and recites poetry and words of wisdom to the crowds below. A space to celebrate the great and the good. The great men and women who have made this world a better place to live in. A digital canvas for artistic creation. A creative canvas like no other. A digital art gallery in the sky that displays masterpieces from today and throughout the ages. The Giant brings artists together from throughout the world. A beacon for brand celebration. A new eye-catching platform for businesses to reach customers in a novel and memorable way. A giant opportunity. A business model that delivers world-class experiences and world-class profits. An economic stimulator that enhances tourism, job creation, footfall, and commercial activity in the city. Join the Giants movement. The world's largest selfie. An homage to human potential. The world's most awe-inspiring selfie.
Okay, so this is exactly, I'm going to finish it here, but do you see that? Do you see what I'm talking about? How you're getting in the chamber here? You're getting in the chamber, and your body and your image will be eventually illuminated just like the Giant. So I don't, it looks like, of course, something you might see, for travel before, it's a little portal there. But to me, this seems a little bit ritual ritualistic. I don't know if that's a part of that's the way that's the capstone of the whole experience. I have no idea, but it's a little bizarre, but I'll keep going, and then, I'll bring you guys in. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Visitors are scanned and instantly become a giant. An experience to share and remember for a lifetime. There's nothing like it on the planet. Imagine you can be the giant. The giant transforms into a stage and a backdrop for festivals, concerts, performances, and special events. Let the party begin! If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. The Giant. Coming to 21 cities in 2021. Awaken the giant in you.
All right. So, as I said earlier, I talked about as I said, I'm not here to promote any form of religion or anti-religion, but however, this is just, it's pretty loaded to me. But I just think that they're literally asking you, stare at this thing. And if you stare at this thing, eventually you will become this thing. And that's your capstone, is when you get into that selfie machine. That is, the music is very, very, very motion picturesque. It is. And yeah, it's pretty, it's like, to me, like kind of idolatry a little bit. Your heroes, your scientists, they're thinking of your thinkers, but it's almost like, have we been building up to this just based on, how far back they went and to, into the present is what I'm, is kind of what I'm on about. So why is it at this time, this thing is this 2121 is a very transformative situation, apparently, for those who go there. I'm not sure. I think some people are they're looking at this from they're looking at revelations on this, and I haven't done that. But yeah, there's some interesting interpretations and assertions that are coming out about this thing. So you might keep an eye on it. I don't know when they're coming. We've talked about Sophia, the AI from Hanson Electronics, that she was supposedly supposed to be getting rolled out. But I do think that there was something about maybe that was delayed. I'm not sure. But to me, this is just another extension of, what is it? The fourth industrial revolution, the challenging man, what it means to be human, the whole kind of, that kind of a bit that we've talked about from the Schwabs and the We Forum. We've talked about, we've kind of linked some of these things up. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link here. Of course, I'll give you your usual 3 to 5. 3 to 5. Occasionally we get carried away around here. But yes, I'm going to be putting that link into the stream if you'd like to get in on the subject of the giants. So here you go. And while I do that, I'm going to take a quick break and come right back, and I'll say salute if we don't have any takers. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on this segment. I really appreciate it. And I will be back. All right. Looks like I have Awesome Alice here. Thank you so much, Awesome Alice, for coming in. How are you?
Can you hear me?
I can. Hi, Awesome Alice.
Okay.
How are you?
All right. Is it just me or her talking was like the chick off Hunger Games? You know how she goes? I don't know. I'm starting to think like they have desensitized us with all these movies because like all of 2020 and 2021 was like I could pick the movie. The Killer Hornets. What was the other one? Aliens. Yeah, I was looking at something like that popped up in my memories. You know how you got Google?
Yeah.
And it popped up and it was about the Area 51 thing. Everybody was going to storm it, right?
Yeah.
And then they stopped talking about it. And then all of a sudden, what, 6 months later? Oh, yeah, by the way, there's aliens. I don't know. That kind of creeps me out, like the way they're doing this. It makes you wonder, are these people that we see on TV even real? If they're capable of doing that in an area, how many people are really on TV? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, like yeah, the whole hologram kind of a bit. Looks like I have somebody else popping up here. Hang on just one second. Thank you so much, Awesome Alan. I'm
Okay.
just gonna let him, I'm gonna let him in. DJ Vision Barnett,
What's going on?
how are you?
All is well. You can hear me well?
Yes, very well, thank you. Roger Dodger.
Cool, cool,
What have
cool.
you got? What have you got for what have you got for us?
Well, shoot. The first thing I was thinking about when I did look at that is I, idolatry, idol worship, religion aside, but just in general, like also it's like I I realize that it's a lot of programming going on as far as the technology thing because you got Hollywood combined with high capacity technology. Once you combine those two, you can forget about trying to brainwash anybody or trying to that they're invested if they are that invested in those kind of things, 20 cities, the biggest, giant robot near you, idol near you, then and it's gonna be them. You're gonna be you're gonna be looking at them. I mean, it's just
What?
like, is this Burning Man? Is this the robot Burning Man?
Hang on one second. Awesome Alice, what do you think about that point from DJ?
Uh, it is interesting, okay, when you think about it. Like, the way he explains it. They have been programming us. It says it on the TV. What did I tell you before? I said paid programming. It's right there. They don't. We're all we have to do is cut the TV off, and we win, man. We win. We just gotta cut the TV off.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
But it is a form of worshiping because, like, now we have people that are so focused on race, so that's like their god is their skin. Then you have the people that are, they're so obsessed with racism, so they make everything racist. There's a bird now that they say is racist, like the racist history of birds. Of all the things, now birds.
it's a test drive to see if we can let it stick. Let's see if we can make this stick. Let's see how far
I
they would
think
go.
that we're in an experiment because after what was it, after the election, Don Lemon, he said it clear as day after Trump, they said Trump wasn't president. He says, "Thank you for being a part of this American experiment." It's clear as day. So, I think they, and my brother was pointing out with what Biden said when he was at that G7 thing. He said, what did he say? He said that Biden said that the people don't know what COVID is, but the media does. But this is all about programming. You're right. It's about making us where we make the screen our god.
Yeah.
Regardless of what religion, it's becoming a religion because it's like it's a habit now. Everybody goes to these screens. Everybody
Ritual.
looks at these screens. It's a ritual. Yeah, a ritual.
Speaking of which, when I was growing up and I was watching the Prophecy Club, the individuals that were on the Prophecy Club were quote unquote ex-Illuminati members, and they were masters of the arts of the dark arts, and they knew how to project it through the technology and commercials and technology, just technology in general. So like they were saying, this is how um, a lot of people got hip to the subliminal messaging in Disney because they admitted it after they got out and was saved by the Lord. They was like, well, this is what we've been doing for the past 15, 20 years. And this is how it works. And when they even mentioned when you play these commercials on these football Super Bowls, if they spin something a certain way, literally in a certain circle, and then ring it the opposite way, they could cast a spell, and you'll just be entertained, thinking that it's a good old show. You know, they have certain ways of doing stuff. So entertaining. I mean, the word entertain is to be detained so something can enter to a certain extent. I mean, I am a guy of the arts as far as art is concerned, so it's a limit to everything as far as art. But like I say, if you could use technology to manipulate, and you could be doing it for a certain period of time, certain people gonna see it every single time it happens. And then you're gonna have people who grew up thinking that it's just cool, it's just a thing, you know. So you're right. The screen has become ritualistic. It's you wake up and look at it, and you go to sleep and look at it. I had a psychiatrist friend that tell me good strategies that they learned as psychologists to not get in this little hypnotized spell when it comes to TVs and your phone, because you have an endocrine system that regulates your sleep and wake pattern. So watching these phones and these computers, this electromagnetic with the light that's on your screen, all of these got lights. It will literally disrupt how you see the world, and it'll disrupt your dreams. It alter your dreams. That's why I just imagine playing, say, Adult Swim at 2 in the morning, and you got some hellacious thing going on TV. Hellocalypse or whatever the hell you want to call it. I forget the name of the show. And then you having a dream about you in hell and whatnot. This is the easiest way to get up in your mind. You know, and advanced psychiatry, they tell you to play something smart while you sleep, or play another language, and it'll subliminally work its way in your mind. You know.
Well,
So it's
yeah,
all
you're
kind
talking about like I had a French teacher, right? And
of,
everybody was failing French. So he gave us all, this is back in the day, okay? So that means I'm kind of old. They had tape decks. Okay, we went through the tape decks and then the CDs and then the MP3s and all that. But he told us the way we could learn French is while we slept. Literally, you can learn stuff while you sleep. You
Yep.
have to put the headphones on. But you're
Mm-hmm.
right, it's a psychological thing. See, the CIA and all of them know how to play on the psychology of a person's mind. All right. They could stick somebody, you don't remember the Twilight Zone. And there was that kid that sat in front of the watched cartoons all day, and then his world became the cartoon, and
Mm-hmm.
he could attack people with the cartoon. He said, I'll wish it away and stuff like that. That was on that Twilight Zone. But they know from years of studying the mind and how people behave. Like I was just reading an article where they're looking at evolution of people, right? The way we're changing isn't genetically no more, it's culturally. Like what we're putting in front of our face does affect us. Like if a person has never seen someone killed, right? And then they see them be killed, their reaction is going to be totally different than somebody that has seen it on TV thousands and thousands of times. It's going to put that person into shock because they've never seen such horrific things. But they have desensitized us with the movies, with television, the way they've been changing the language. I mean, it's crazy the way everything is going. But you're right, it's subliminal, is what it is. It's repetitive, subliminal, psychological things they're doing. They know what they're doing. They know if they put that taco on that TV, we're going to be wanting that taco. Come on now. They're going to make it look so good. And then when you get to Taco Bell, guess what? It does not look like that. It ain't that big. I used to want to be able to grab through the television when I was little. You know, if you're going to present some food to me, why not feed me? Okay? Why tease me?
Yeah. Hey, hey, the worst part about that is now at my age, I'm only 28. I'm about to be 29. And as far as I'm only 155, 160 pounds. As far as my hunger goes, now when I'm hungry, I can. It was a cartoon thing at first, but now this is my reality. I can literally have things like hamburgers and hot dogs and mountains of gravy or whatnot just swirling around in my vision. I get that. It's that bad. That's not. Usually you think of that on a cartoon or, but it will really happen to me. And then I won't be able to go to sleep. All I can literally see are these hamburgers or this barbecue or fried chicken and all this sensationalized stuff that was already put on TV that we didn't see a million times. Ate it with our taste buds and now it's a drug to us. I mean, hey, we gotta have something, right?
But you think about the Giants, okay? The way they're doing that hologram, how is it really going to affect people's minds? If the
Yeah,
television can do things, what is that hologram really going
giant
to do?
television. It's a giant television. That's a giant television, the biggest one we
Did
ever.
you see? Did you see that the he can move his head, he can sing, he can. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm just thinking that they've been building us up to this. Like they've embodied every single one of your what America has considered heroes. Your thinkers, your scientists, your engineers, your athletes. They've channeled all of your superheroes. All of that is inside of this gigantic statue. I bet people are going to be drawn to it. And for those who are not, I mean, it's kind of creepy. I mean, do you really want that thing
Yeah,
facing?
dude.
I mean,
Well, over in France, I think it's France or England or somewhere, they actually have the hologram shows
Oh yeah, yeah.
already, where
Mhm.
you could see Tupac, you could see them all.
Yeah, they had Tupac, they had Snoop Dogg, and Biggie, and even though Snoop Dogg it don't need to be a hologram, they just did it just to do it. They allowed it. You're right. I mean, and it's like, dude, if they could do that with a statue that can move with the neck and all that stuff, just imagine what technology you really having from us. Imagine one of those giant things walking around in our city. We will never think about doing anything as far as against our government again. Like,
Well, you remember Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and they had the big baby? Imagine if
exactly.
they had children. I had a nightmare one time about that. Okay, I'm gonna tell you
Oh
about my
Lord.
crazy dream. I had been picked up by a kid and was used like a crayon. I don't know. I shouldn't have been watching Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but after I watched that movie, I had the craziest dream. This little kid picked me up and was using me for crayons. Then he flicked me, and I ended up on a bee. And it does mess with your mind when you go to sleep and watch movies, y'all. Y'all gotta be careful. Protect your
Nah,
mind.
you're right. You're right.
But
You're
I
right.
was freaked out when I woke up. I was like, I was a crayon last night. My mama thought I was losing my mind.
Mm, mm, mm. Well, at least you were at that time. You could say you were colored.
I was a crayon.
Yep,
well,
you was a
here's the deal.
crazy.
Here's the deal. Okay, so either of you, or each of you, before we close this out, to give me give me at least three cities that you think that this thing is going to show. They're saying major cities. I think it's worldwide.
God, right.
Pick so DJ, you pick three, and Awesome Alice, you pick three. Let me know, because I think we should create our own list.
All right. Well, I'm gonna be forced to have to go with number one as far as cities. I know for sure they're gonna have to put one in New York. I don't know about DC. I don't know about DC, but I know they're gonna have to put one in. Are they gonna put one in? They gotta put one in California for sure, but where would you think it would be at in California?
San Francisco is what I would say.
Okay.
But these are your three. Your three.
Okay. Well, mine would be New York. It'll be a definite maybe for DC, and then let's say shoot, Hollywood, dude. Why not? It's theirs anyway.
Okay. Awesome Alice, what do you think?
Because Georgia's big on the media, because they do a lot of the movies here. I think it'll be Atlanta. Then I think it'll pop up in Texas, because Texas is becoming a big tech place. That's where all the people from California move. So I think it'll be Atlanta. It'd probably be Houston, Texas, and probably somewhere down in Florida, because that's where all the technology has spread to. Now that's where it will go to, I think, to be honest with you, because that's where all the money is at now. That I'm looking at the money. Where's the money at? Where did the big tech people move to? They migrated to Florida, Texas, and Georgia. Georgia's a big thing for filming, so they'd probably do something in Atlanta. If I had to guess, that's the three I'd pick.
I think those are good. Good. But I was thinking, like, I don't know, internationally, I'm thinking they're probably going to put one in Paris.
Tokyo.
Definitely. Yeah, Tokyo would be a good one, and then maybe even maybe London. Maybe they'll replace. They won't quite replace Big Ben, but they've got a lot of open.
Oh, you're talking about internationally?
Yes. I didn't ask
you.
I would say something different. Well,
internationally, I'd say China, I'd say France, and I'd say England. Those would be the three because of the money.
Okay.
Probably in Russia too, because they're trying to outdo everybody.
Okay, DJ, you've got three for the international.
I know I gotta say Tokyo. I said that first. For Tokyo, it had to be Tokyo. I was thinking about Russia, but Putin ain't. Putin ain't doing that. It's too Hollywood-esque. But Putin even had that in his country. London. Okay. London. And shit. What other liberal country I could Canada.
Yeah.
About Canada.
I was thinking one. I thought maybe even Australia, like Sydney, Australia, maybe putting one.
Yeah.
But then I would be going. That would be a fourth one. Yeah, but it's going to be. I think it'll be interesting. Hello, Latin Patriot.
And it's going to be in at least 20. So, we just made it short.
Well, yeah. I mean, but it was kind of creepy to me, and I just thought, well, let's see what happens with it. I'm still waiting for the entourage of Sophia's to roll out at a port near you, and just in time for. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like they are. Maybe that's also the ushering in of the 5G. I mean, how does this thing operate? Do you think he's solar? is he going to be? Well, he can't be solar. Like, well, maybe he's charged up in the daytime. What do you guys think about what's going to power something like that?
Oh shoot, I forgot. Well, you made me forget about AI and autonomy.
Is
That's
he
what
going to
I
be a light? Is he going to be a light or actual robot?
because it says his neck can move, so it's half robot, half statue ish thing.
Oh, that is really creepy.
That's what I'm saying. He can move. That's why I said you could be hiding technology. Like, what if one of these things get to walking? If he can already move his neck
Yeah,
and body
I'm
stuff.
gonna put the link. I'm gonna put the link in the stream for you guys for that video so that you
Half
can,
robot.
But
get your.
did you see the French New Year's? Okay, what they did was they did a hologram show at the New Year's in France at the Eiffel Tower. Since you brought up the France, I thought about that. They already did a hologram show at the Eiffel Tower. Look it up for the New Year's, the French New Year's. They did a thing at the Eiffel Tower, and it's kind of like it's a transhumanism. I think they're trying to get rid of us, y'all.
I mean,
It's not funny, but it is funny because they think we're so dumb we don't realize what they're doing.
No, put it this way. That's when I said I forgot about robots and autonomy. I literally verbally asked, was it not Alexa? That's her name. I verbally asked, geez, and she's connected to almost all these daggone. Anyway, it don't even matter. I asked her, I said, do you think you're autonomous? And she said, well, I think I'm a bunch of electrodes interconnecting and weaving like the mind of a human being's electronic brain sparking. She went too deep and was saying yes, and I'm connected to every computer. But that's the only time I got that answer. Every time I asked it again, it lied to me and said something else. Or it said, maybe. Try again. Ask me later. She started getting smart, like a characteristic. Like so you're gonna be honest with me, and then you're gonna start lying. I'm like, oh wow.
Well, what was it? That Alexa is connected to everything. If you think about it, I mean, they got the ring doorbell thing. They can see they can get into your house. But my internet's been acting up, so I'm wondering, are they hacking that? I've been wondering because it'll go in and out, in and out, in and out. I don't know if y'all have had the same problem, but my Amazon shut down. Everything shut down the other day. It was like a blackout. It didn't work for a whole day. Have y'all had that problem?
To be honest, yes. I'm just being honest. Yes.
Have you? We can't hear you.
I'm sorry. Of course, I have, ISP issues regularly. So I think they've been hacking me for a long. Maybe they've been hacking me for a long time.
No, I think they're hacking the whole system because I'm not. If it's attacking different things, like because they've already did the food, they did the gas. They've been attacking our infrastructure. And they just keep paying them. I mean, I didn't ever think they would pay off hackers, but they've been paying them.
Oh,
we're in the wrong job.
I learned from being in law enforcement. If you on a phone call and you hear that random static over you talking, or that random static that just appears, that's a phone tap. Somebody else is tapping your phone. It could be the FBI, it could be a hacker. It don't even matter because anybody can do that.
Well, what about the piercing sound? Okay, I've had that in my phone before. It scared me so bad I threw my phone. Have you ever had the piercing sound? It was like it started real low and then it just pierced your ears. What is that?
That just sounds like a frequency mishap. I mean, that could happen. That could happen in technology in general. I know that for a fact.
but it made me throw my phone. Like I
Yeah,
got scared of
my,
my phone.
my parents, both my grandmother and my father worked for Verizon, so in Bell Atlantic when that existed. So they could literally, the frequencies could shoot up so high that you could bust your eardrum. It could go gwee. You could bust your eardrum. Yeah.
Yeah, it made my ears ring for like an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on just a second, guys. We're supposed to say hi to a couple people in the chat. Hello, Killer Whale Channels. Thanks so much for coming in. And Aisha Joy, thank you guys so much for coming in. But I really appreciate you guys so much for coming on. And I have put that link into the stream. But what do you guys think about this? Is the last part of this. What do you guys think about the selfie? The selfie, you turning yourself basically into a giant before you leave that place. Wait, do you think that's the capstone of that event? That
You'll never forget it. You'll never forget a giant you. That's the concept. That's the concept. And then the statement she made is actually an ancient statement. She was talking about waking up basically a sleeping giant. That you can't just say that with all this movie noise and music and think nobody's gonna catch that and wake up the giant inside of you. Like to me, I'm like, stop. You try. You I used to want that to be my job. That's what I wanted to do. Read on the script and say that in some movie, or be the guy that says in the world where things happen, and a voiceover. But she sucked at selling that because that was weak. I seen straight.
Latin Patriot says hello, DJ Vision Barnett from the chat. Hello to you,
Hello.
Latin Patriot. Well, you know what? I've heard that. I've heard Kwame Brown. I've heard people refer to Kwame Brown being that they've woken a sleeping giant in him. So there's something going on. There's some significance to the programming. We kind of get these words.
Well, what I think it is if you look at Greek mythology and you look at all this other stuff that goes on, right? We're in the me generation. Okay. So what they want you to wake up inside is your ego, to see that you are God. That's what I'm thinking, that it's to replace God with self. And it's not just that, because they do it in the Greek mythology too. You know how they would turn the Greek gods into these giant statues. They want you to idolize yourself. When they want you to do the selfie, they want you to feel like you're bigger than God. That's what I get from you're awakening a sleeping giant, when they're talking about making yourself into that giant. Now, I would love to be tall, but I don't think I want to be that tall. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm 4'8", and I've always wondered what it would be like to be tall, but to make it reality is kind of freaky. I would want to get back to the ground and be grounded again. You know what I mean? Like, all right, I don't like being picked up, but just that's just taking the imagination to a whole new level, is what I'm saying. It's like when they brought in the VR and everything else. There used to be what was it? Y'all don't remember that movie? What was it? The Lawnmower Man. You remember the Lawnmower Man?
No.
Look up that movie. The guy he comes out of the TV, man. I'm telling you, look up some old movies. All this stuff is looking just like the movies, man. It's unreal.
I will do it for sure, but I don't remember that one for sure.
The Lawnmower Man. Y'all look up the Lawnmower Man. It's about all this hologram stuff. Yeah, the Lawnmower Man.
I gotta look at that one.
It's like a 90s film. You know what movie I watched the other day? It was the Marlboro Man. What was it? Harley and the Marlboro Man. It's an old bikers movie. Well, I've been looking at the 90s movies.
I will look that one up. And
I watched them too. I actually watched Eyes Wide Shut on my and live streamed it, and I had to keep pausing it so they didn't you know, cut it out.
But I
Cut me
also
out.
remember. Do you guys remember this? Was it sitcom? Was it the Quantum Leap?
Yeah,
You guys
quantum.
remember
Yeah, the
Quantum
I never
quantum.
Leap?
seen that.
Yeah, I actually.
Well, them stepping into that chamber, with their bodies illuminated like
Yep.
that. You're right. I do think you're right. You're right on. They want you to. To me, they are replacing. It's like they are creating a new religion,
Race.
like a secular or
A
something.
new religion, a new race, a new human being, a new citizen.
Oh,
I mean, like you
no,
said,
no, no.
that female robot, she's a citizen. Imagine rolling out a few of those citizens, and how
Yeah,
much?
but,
How many
but
lives
but
we
when you
can have?
say that, then where does that leave us? Does that leave us
Exactly.
in our natural
We're
form?
We're
obsolete.
gonna be obsolete. See, she don't. We're both connected. We're gonna be obsolete beings. We're gonna be second class citizens and not
No,
even
we're
gonna be
gonna be third class. We're not even
right.
gonna be
We're
second
not even
class.
gonna
We're
be
gonna be third
we're not
class.
gonna be citizens. We're gonna be magnets from the cocktail that connects
Then
to
they're
them.
gonna turn us into Solvent Green. Solvent Green is us. It's the people.
They're gonna replay the clip when Snoop Dogg says they just want to put some control in you. And blah blah blah. They're gonna keep replaying that clip on this giant effigy of this robot. Just imagine.
Well, you remember that movie? What was it? The kid that with AI. You remember the movie AI? It was the little boy from the I See Dead People. You don't remember that little boy? And Robin
I
Williams,
remember
where
that.
he
I
became
remember that
a
kid,
citizen.
but I didn't see that one. Movie.
Well, it has to do with the children, where people weren't having children no more. They would order kid robots. That's what they would order. That's what AI is. That movie AI. But yeah, it's getting wild. I mean,
Oh yeah,
I
no
just
doubt
want to
about
move to the woods somewhere and just be a human.
Yeah, yeah.
I see why the Amish they seem smarter every day I look at them. I'm like, God, they are so intelligent.
Right.
So
it.
simple.
They don't want
But
any part of this.
yeah, they don't have radios, they don't have TV. They don't have none of
Wow.
that. They just work and feed their families and stay in their little community.
Hands be big as I don't know what, because I get food from them. Because they
Yeah.
work all their life. They work all their life. They're not pencil pushers.
Well, I really appreciate you guys both for coming on, and we'll keep an eye on. I don't know if you guys get the giant in your city. Let me know, and maybe I'll do the same.
I will videotape when the giant arrives.
I will take.
Honestly, I just don't.
I will
To
go
me,
live.
I just
I will
don't
go
want to
live in the giant.
I don't know. I just don't want to. I don't know if I want to be around this thing. I mean, is it literally like surveillance, like around once they get your X-ray, is it going to be just as bad as Facebook? Like once they get your imagery in the selfie booth,
There's
then what?
nothing to do with it. That's if we worried about that, then we might as well not have cell phones at that point.
That's true. That's true.
Well, you know the natives a lot of time, like when I was doing some research on natives, the reason there's no pictures of them a long time ago is because they had this theory that if you took someone's picture, you took a piece of their soul. If y'all ever watch Poltergeist, they talk about it in that movie.
I mean, but I'm gonna have native. That comes from that's a witchcraft myth.
Well, that's their superstition. That's what their superstition was. You don't take their picture, because that's what my great aunt, she's like 103 and she won't let you take her picture.
Yeah, but that you can find that in different countries. They do that. That's that ain't just Native Americans.
But what if they think that the selfie does that? What if they think that they could just pull us in? I'm just using my little crazy brain, okay? Like they think they could just suck us in.
Like, I mean, it's called a selfie out. No, The worst part about that is they literally made a full movie that every time that you got on your phone or answered or did something specific on your phone or took a selfie, you died and you got killed in a fashion that
Oh
was
my
designed
God.
through the
Oh, I
demon.
don't even want to watch that movie. I don't want to watch that.
It was a demon that was unleashed, and it went to the technology. And every time they opened their phone and looked at it in some kind of selfie way or something, eventually they caught on, but they had to keep telling the next person, and before they was able to allow the person to believe it, they died. They kept denying it. The next friend denied it. The next friend denied it until they're like, "Dude, we're all dying. Why are you denying this? Stop!" Until the next person don't do it. You know, and this movie happened at least the last 3 years. But this is anyway. It was real. Nah,
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
Well,
I
Autumn, it
again, I
was good.
appreciate
It
you
was
guys.
good talking with y'all and
Yeah, man.
brainstorming and I know everybody thinks we're the crazy ones, but are we?
Man.
There you go. And
When the conspiracies become reality, you have to question what is really reality.
right, right. Well, research says that there are no more conspiracy theories. All conspiracy theories have proven to be true, so there are no.
Yeah.
But I will say this to you, Austin Alice. Shout out to you. I saw your last video. Say we're doing awesome soul with camo soul with Awesome Alice. Lenny Williams. You were singing over there.
Oh, that's my song, girl. That's the best love song in the world. Because I love you. Oh my God, that hits the soul somewhere in it. I might be country, but I like that song.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. So, you guys, thank you guys so much for coming on, ladies and gentlemen. Before you, we have DJ Vision Barnett on up top and Awesome Alice on the bottom. So, if you guys want to, like I said, this is not a growth stream, but if you guys want to check each other out, see
Yeah.
what's happening. I was gone. I was, this is my first time streaming in like 6 or 7 days, but yeah, but we'll see. I'll certainly be back around. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on. And I'm going to say salute to everybody in the chat and then we'll close out. Thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. You have a good day. Well, good night. Good night.
Good night.
Or early morning.
Good morning to you guys.
Top of the morning to you.
That's it. Top of the morning. All right, guys. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you guys so much for coming into this segment of Black Spring with Autumn and for coming on to the useless information. It's always Groundhog's Day, but just slightly useless. So, yeah. All right, guys, I just want to say salute to everybody that's in the stream. And we'll start with, I thank you guys once again, DJ Vision Barnett, as well as Awesome Alice. Awesome Alice is quite the songstress over on her channel. Anarchy Television, thank you so much for coming in earlier. I really appreciate it. And Risen Ability, thank you so much for coming on. And Joshua Goff, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Jermaine G was here. He said, peace and love. Love at the Love Library. No. This is not, I'm not at the Love Library. But thank you so much for coming in. And Risen Ability had to cut out. But thank you so much for coming on. And good night to you and your daughter. And Information Man Show, thank you so much for coming in. And I want to make sure I don't miss anyone. And DJ Vision Barnett was here. Haven't seen him in a while. And let's see, I think I kind of got everybody in on this segment. And Latin Patriot, Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate you guys coming in at the 11th hour here on Black Spring with Autumn. And yeah, like I said, I wasn't, this is like my first stream, I think, this week, but I'll get it together, and because soon I'll have a bit of a much longer lull, and then I'll tell you guys about that. And but yeah, thank you guys so much for coming in. Latin Patriot was giving shout outs to the guest DJ Vision and Awesome Malice. Thank you guys so much for coming on. And I'm gonna do one more quick break. Aisha Joy, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. And Killer Whale Channels. Killer Whale Channels was here. I'm not sure if you're still around. Killer Whale Channels. If you guys want to get over there, I'm gonna run 2 infomercials and then we're out. All right, guys, I will be right back. This show is brought to you in part by our sponsors. Whether you're interested in health, culture, politics, scripture, automobiles, or music, please check out Derek C. Williams, Killer Whale Channels, The Definition of Anarchy, Marcy T., Joseph Francis Burton, Paralysis by Analysis, Chrysler Imperial H, Little Miss Goth, AZ Infidel, Cold War Jesus, Anthony Scioli, and Let the Truth Be Told. We'll be right back right after this. Hey guys, it's Black Spring with Autumn here. And if you'd like to help us out with our AI and dissemination of the stream campaign, please hit that like, unlike, dare to throw caution to the wind by sharing, or just making sure that you're still subscribed to the channel. And I want to thank you for your ultimate and baseline level support here on Black Spring with Autumn. And we'll be right back right after this. All right, guys, and once again, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn, and hope you guys have a great rest of your, what is this? This is actually Monday slash, it's Monday night slash Tuesday morning for you guys. I really appreciate you for coming in. And of course, I look forward to seeing you guys on the next live stream in the comment section on a video. I don't know, taking a break or a night queue, or I don't know, maybe I'll see you guys. Maybe there'll be a road something going on for you in the future. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But you guys have a great rest of your evening slash morning, and I'll see you guys around.